Hi, this is Craig Lane. We're here today to talk about voluntary versus involuntary thoughts. Hi, this is Craig Lane with Health Alchemy. We're here to do some really interesting and inventive ways that you can help yourself for $0. So this is part of the programs I teach. I teach a nutrition and personal health program called Personal Alchemy. I have a mastermind group where I meet with advanced practitioners and we talk about difficult case studies in health that aren't being helped by anybody else. And then I have a plant medicine program where you can learn about herbal medicine and how to process and grow and use herbs for yourself and others. So what comes out of today then, our first little tip, we've been doing early warning signals and free tips and things that have generally proven to have results. And today it's the difference between voluntary and involuntary thoughts. So we'll explain that in a minute, but there's another addition to the equation, and that's voluntary versus involuntary breathing. And they're actually tied together. That's right. So what would be a voluntary thought? Well, a voluntary thought would be, hey, I want to think about that oat straw over there. Or hey, I want to think about what I'm going to say for the camera here. And then an involuntary thought would be something you're sitting quietly, you might be watching a movie, you might be going to sleep, and then there's a thought that comes in without your volition, without your effort. It might be thinking about, oh, grandma, or oh, I got to make dinner in the morning, but you didn't try and summon it. So why was it that thought and not 10,000 other thoughts? Was one of my, how come I feel compelled to think about the mountains over there versus the straw or the beach or what I'm going to eat for dinner? And so that was a lifelong thing for me, for decades was, how come I think one thing and they think that? So that would be an involuntary thought. Then we'll introduce the voluntary breath would be, that would be voluntary rapid breathing. Then there's involuntary breathing that's driven by your autonomic nervous system back here in the rear of the brain. And the involuntary breathing is a sort of our normal breath rate, which can vary anywhere from 5 to 15 breaths a minute. Most people are in the high breath count. And so we can also notice how deep our breath is. So what I learned when I started doing yoga 39 years ago, in the first 3 to 4 years, was this momentous insight that I thought was so great, but it's been around for thousands of years. The yogis have known about it. So when it occurs to you, and the involuntary thought and the involuntary breathing, I'm sorry, but it's run by grace, it's run by instinct, it's run by reactions and programming. So we can't get underneath that, as the series that I've been doing here, at least on the YouTube shorts, shows you that. You can't control the involuntary thoughts and the involuntary breathing, but you can do the root level prayer, which is to pray to grace that you get that sort of intervention and you wake up and you go, okay, so here's how you do your work when you're aware of it is you start practicing slow, longer, deeper breaths. A slow mind is correlated with slower, longer, deeper breathing. And a rapid mind that's going crazy is associated with fast, rapid breathing, like I just did. And if you catch yourself in a stressful thought pattern, then slow it down. So the problem is I got a racing mind, and the solution is take 3 or 4, the more the better, slow, deep breaths. If you can distract yourself from the stressful thought for about, I think it's 45 to 60 seconds, there's some science on this, Abraham Hicks talk about it, then reintroduce the thought after 45 to 60 seconds of being distracted from it, you'll notice it might feel a little softer. So that's your health report for the day, because free, easy, and proven results, tips in your health. This is one from the yogis passed down for thousands and thousands of years. Thank you very much.